All right, everybody, I got a fun one for you today, and that's how to launch a product and generate massive social media buzz. And so if you go through my YouTube channel, you'll actually find a couple of other videos around this, which I recommend you checking out. You can check out the one on how I was able to book 100 meetings in 24 hours. You can also look at the one on how to get over 1,000 retweets in 24 hours on Twitter. But I'm going to be talking about this because I love product-based marketing on social media. So let me sneeze here for a second. Okay, false alarm, I didn't have to sneeze. But we're gonna jump into it. So with your product and with social media and how to build buzz, it's very simple. First of all, the only way you're gonna actually generate buzz is if you spent a few months really refining the amount of content that you're putting out. What that means is you're gonna need to produce a lot of content to understand what triggers people to take an action, right? For me and what I have going with my business, and if you don't know who I am, my name is Lucas James, and I was able to scale my business to $1.7 million in revenue last year, completely bootstrapped with no debt as a kid in his 20s. And so I'm going to be showing you how to do the same thing in this video and in future videos. But basically, what we do now is we work with all kinds of businesses, but a lot of agencies. And what I found with agencies is they're really focused on 4 key things: getting more sales, getting more leads, scaling a sales team, and then scaling a remote team. I got those 4 things and I created 4 different landing pages because I knew that those were the biggest pain points after testing hundreds of pieces of content, right? And so if you want to get a direct response, you're going to need to test a lot of content. And if I'm being real with you, this is where people are going to get a little upset, but this is something that you just have to do, is you are probably going to have to do all the content initially. You could outsource it to someone else, but it's just never going to get the same results, or it's going to be very lackadaisical at the beginning. You're going to eventually need to do this yourself because you alone, usually, if you're the founder or at least like the head of marketing, you typically know about the product more than someone you outsource it to, right? And so you're going to need to have a hand in it. And if you work with a marketing agency from day one, then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to at least be involved in that process with them. You can't just ship it off to them. You have to be involved. And if you're not willing to do that, then there's a trade-off. The trade-off is slower growth, basically no results or very little results. You have to be involved. That's key. You have to be involved in the process, right? And so let's say you're going to launch something on social media. Let's say you're launching a product. You need to have built up you have to done all the work with your agency or yourself to actually lay the foundation for knowing what kind of posts will trigger a response. And then if you can do that, what you want to do is you want to spend about a month or 2 before launching the product, getting an email list together. And what you want to do with that email list, I've talked about this in previous videos, but what you want to do in this email list is you want to actually go and get people very interested at different times throughout the content creation process. And you want to get them behaviorally conditioned to take actions on a daily basis for you. If you're conditioning to take them actions, then when the time comes to launch your product in about a month, then you've conditioned them to do it. So you want to get them to take micro actions, right? So getting them to comment on a post, to share it, to subscribe. These are micro actions that have no risk to them, but just a ton of upside. The more you can do this, you're conditioning them to eventually take a bigger action like a purchase or a sign up or something like that. But you need to condition them with smaller actions, right? This goes for anybody, any business, no matter what. That's what all the major networks are doing. Everybody is doing that every day. Anybody does marketing. It's basically behavioral conditioning. And as long as it's done ethically, it's a great thing because you're actually conditioning people to have a better life or to experience a better solution. And that's a good thing. It's a net positive for society. And so ultimately you want to think along these lines. And then once you have laid that groundwork, A, you know what kind of content has the best triggers. B, you've conditioned them for at least 30 days to take micro actions on your content to then lead up to the major action. And then C, you have launch day. And on launch day, what you typically want to do is, it's actually really easy. If you've done the groundwork, all you got to do is go tell people about it because there should be enough buzz around your product already that you should be good to go. A good book on this is called Launch. I forgot the guy's name who made it, but he's really cool from what I read. And I've read about half of this book so far, so I recommend checking it out. But essentially in the book, he talks about how you can launch a product and you want to basically, about a few days before, just like tease everybody about the product launch. I do this all the time because I love delighting my customers. I love having products where they go, wow, this is so cool, and building hype. And you got to make hype a key piece of your strategy. It has to be something that's always part of your strategy. You got to tease it a little bit. You got to be like, hey, got this cool new product launching on Saturday. stay tuned. Really excited to share with you guys. If you do something like this, they're going to be telling their friends about it, or they're just going to be thinking about it in the back of their mind. People love surprises. I love surprises. I love being surprised by cool new things, right? So this is essentially how you would do your product launch, generate thousands of signups for anything you're trying to do. I've used this to build multi-million-dollar businesses from day one since I launched my company. So hopefully this has been helpful for you guys. For anyone who has questions on how to do this themselves, how to grow or scale their agency to millions of dollars of revenue, or even just any business that you have, feel free to comment below. I'm happy to help you grow and scale by giving you some free advice. Also, if you have a friend who you think would like this, like I said with the micro actions thing, this is an example of it. That's why you hear it so many times at the end of YouTube videos. Feel free to share it with somebody you think would be valuable. I'm happy to give them one-on-one consultation in the comments below to answer any of their questions about how to grow and scale a business. Thank you so much.